Hi guys, welcome. Mr. Wicked Shot back again here with another discussion and reaction video. And in today's discussion and video, we'll be talking about the ever repetitive strategy by the left-wing media to destroy and cause panic in the country. In their failed attempt to drum up support for their for the party representative. They continue to just, change the story, change the narrative, carry lies, whatever they can do to turn the public and to take their attention off the lack of valuable things that they should be offering, to their supporters. That is how they distract you or distract them from what they're not doing to what the other person is doing badly, right? So if you don't have nothing tangible to show your supporters about what you can offer them, what you're willing to do to fix the country, just harp on all the negative stuff. What I notice I seem to see with these media outlets is like they tend to thrive or profit off carrying uh panic. I don't know if they make a profit from it, if it just does better viewings, but they don't do positive stuff. It's just always negative. That was my biggest gripe with being on that side, was just the negative stuff all the damn time, just constant negative and showing stuff that's gonna get underneath your skin, which is what they want. They want to keep you feeling petrified, paranoid, worried, scared. That's the best way to do it. Just keep showing them stuff that's just gonna let them buy into what we're trying to sell. Fear, panic. Um, so they can just essentially do dirt work from them. If we can just turn them, show them enough stuff to turn them against the other side, don't even have to do anything to win. All we have to do is just show them stuff to turn them against the other side. Like show them stuff about Trump that makes him appear as a racist, and a white supremacist. Show them some stuff about the cops that paint them as racist that just want to kill minorities. Only show them stuff about that, even if it's not, just change the context. Just do clever editing. Make it look like that, and then only show them that. Be first. If you're not first, you're last. Um, Show stuff out with white people, attacking black people, even if it was started up, even if it was, a different race being the problem. Just show them the part where they reacted. It's like they find all sort of ways to turn, whether it's a way to turn, you know, people from, conservative to turn them off conservative. They find ways of showing stuff that help them to get that message across, or stuff that paints Trump as a racist. They find stuff of, find ways of taking stuff out of context to show it to you. And that's what they did. That's what they got me, showing me all those type of negative stuff and all those other stuff. Before I even knew if it was true or not, the first thing you see, that's what you believe because it's the first thing you see, and you expect it to be true because it's being carried by the news, and they make you believe that, and even though, in the back of your mind, not everything you see on TV is true, but you keep seeing, if they keep showing you the same thing over and over again, eventually you're gonna believe it's really happening and it's true. And that's what, it's not like they show you one time and boom, they got you. It's the repetitiveness of it. And here we go. They're doing it again. How they doing it this time? The same tactics, show a cop shooting a black person. This one, the guy, you probably, most of you have seen it, the guy from Wisconsin that got shot 7 times by cops while he was, not following the orders and whatnot. And, like expected, they came out first with their first little clip, and put the narrative in there, guy shot in front of his kids, and how he was painting him as a savior and everything like that, activists and all that stuff, just to get that, flan up the flame again. And it worked, of course, unrest started and all that stuff. It's like even before the full information came out, people was already like making, their assumption and giving their full honesty when they haven't even gotten the full information yet. And again, once the full information came out or more information started to come out, you see the trend and people are seeing the trend. And to the point where if a lot of you guys watch Ben Shapiro, um, I don't know if he's reacting to it or he's reacting to another guy, watching another guy reacting to the video, and he's kind of breaking it down. I'll put a link to that reaction video down here so you can see it. And then I'll do my own reacting to his reaction to the video as well at a different time because I don't want it to be too long. So I'll just put the link in the description so you can watch it. If you guys watch Ben Shapiro. So yeah, but that's, he broke it down, and I'm like, yep, not surprised. They did the same thing with the George Floyd thing. They did the same thing with the Arbery thing, and I'm like, in most of those cases, even though it's still, it's still aggressive, um, force, excessive use of force. The way they carry it and put it out there is only for one reason. They want to put it in the worst context possible to get you to just like lose your shit, basically. And I'm just like, it's getting played out, man. It's getting played out. Like, you guys not fooling anybody. Have you seen, what's going on with the walkaway movement? How many people have been like, you know, like leaving, like never. I mean, leaving like there's no tomorrow. Like, they're just like, people are just fed up with the same. They're just catching on. I caught on. Others are going to be catching on, and I'm seeing why people used to say that thing about once you go to the right, you never go back to the left. It makes sense. It makes sense because the left, that what I, in my time seeing the information that they've put out, it seemed like they're hardly spending their time on trying to offer you stuff or show you what they're willing to give to you if you vote for them. It's always like, if you watch, every time I was watching CNN, it's always negative stuff. It's always stuff they're showing about Trump that they took out of context to make Trump, to paint Trump as a racist or a hater for America and the Constitution, or stuff to make cops look bad. It's always negative. They don't spend hardly any time, beefing up or talking about their own representative, saying, okay, this is what Biden's going to do for you. This is what we're offering you. This is what we're doing. This is what he's done. None of that. It's just negative, negative. Cop killing, um, white people being, Karens, the multiple instances occurring that they shows, stuff about Trump that they take out of context and flip it, that it just seemed like the the all played out tactics that is getting played out by the minute, of them just like getting the news first because they want to be first. Interaction is the best one. They don't want to be last, so they want to get that out, whether it's true or not. Like, hey, let's get this out. Whatever makes them hate Trump, let's take him saying something, edit it, and put it out there, and then they'll see it, and then it'll fit the narrative. They'll buy into it. Same thing if we want to paint conservative or Republicans as all racist. Let's do stuff that shows it. You want to paint cops as murderers and just all only want to kill black people. Just every time they kill a black person, even if it's only one in 2 years, or even if it's less than any other race, still show it and keep showing it. Find them, find out that's all they do. So you see it and you think it's happening all the time. And that's what got into me. I'm like, man, they're just doing it. I can't feel safe anymore. And it started getting into my head, and I'm like, that's what they do. And they did it, and they're doing it to everybody. And that's why you're seeing people are rioting the way they do, because they're seeing the same thing every other week or something. So I'm like, if I'm seeing this all the time, it must be true. Cops really hate us, and they're just like going around trying to kill us, and it's not true. Like, not all of them. The reality is, and this is why gravitated to the right, is because they admit and they understand that, yeah, there's flaws. There's flaws in Trump. There's flaws in every party. We know that. But what we try to do is we try to look out what's in our best interest and allow everyone to have the right and freedom of speech and not shut you down, even if we don't see eye to eye. While the left seem to like demonize you just for even thinking differently. They don't support free thinking, number one. And the other thing what the right does is we go with facts. They like to go with facts, and whether it's like, you know, doesn't help them in terms of what the facts is, they'll still go with it, and that's why you get that tag where Trump likes to call CNN fake news, because that's all they do. They just do fake news, and the other side deals with reality. So yeah, it just made it straightforward, So this one right here, this video, I'll be telling you what I believe the ways we can, fix policing in America, which will kind of cut off at least one of the options that the left has been using to try to drum up propaganda and fear and all this stuff. Is the constant, abuse of the police and trying to paint them as demons. And what I think is, and I said it in one of my posts, and I'm just going to reference it here as well, is that we have to. I said it in my first post. You can read it. My first post about my walkway story, that um, just firing bad cops every time they do something wrong isn't going to fix the problem. Like, it starts with the police union. It starts it starts from above, right? So I feel cops, and I want cops to have protection, but at this point, like, it's just like outrageous, the type of stuff and how difficult it is to charge a cop when they do something wrong. I feel that cops should be held in higher standard than normal citizens, because their job is to protect and uphold the law. So if you're breaking the thing that you're paid to uphold and protect, then your punishment should be even as severe as it can get, right? So that's what I feel. That, I think, is the first way to deter it. The second way is, or to help fix it, the problem is, we have to find some way to reform um, the police union, because that union, the way that thing work is just really benefiting bad cops, I think, more than the good cops. Because what I think most cops will agree to me, good cops at least will agree to me, that the bad cops, when they go out there and do stuff like that, they're making it harder for them. They're making the life a living hell, because they're destroying the trust and bond that they've built. They're just eroding the building underneath. They're eroding the foundation, because it's like they take two steps forward in building relation and trust with the people, and then one little nincompoop goes out there and does something stupid, and it erodes all of that. And it's like the people just feel like they're getting pulled back and forth, and it messes up the relationship. So I'm pretty sure, a lot of cops would agree with me on this, that they need to make it harder for bad cops to survive within the system. They need to find a way to out them, to out them, and then also to keep the bad ones out. Don't make it so easy for people that are not fit to be police officers able to come in. Because a lot of them just join just to be able to kill people for, without cost. So you have to, because since that's a reality, yeah, it might not be all of the cops that are like that, which but since, like, the minority are making it bad for the majority, then you have to make the process difficult for the minority. And this is why I believe that defunding the police, that's why I'm not with that. Defunding the police is not gonna fix anything. I really believe that that will actually make it harder and worse on the cops, the good cops, and it will affect the bad cops. Because what people seem to forget is, when you kill people, the way you see cops or the evil cops are killing people, that's not human. That's evil. Because I come from a Christian background, I look at it first like that. Like, that's not a good act. That's evil. That's pure straight from the devil. So you know just making, just telling somebody or giving them a slap on the wrist isn't going to deter them, right? So that's why I don't feel like the rules or the reprimands that they have in place right now is going to deter them. And then most of the time, even, makes them feel comfortable doing it, right? Because an evil cop, and this is why I want most people to understand, just your skin color won't change you. And that's why you'll be seeing a lot of my videos that I'll be coming out in the future, showing that these cops don't just care, the evil ones. They don't care about your age. They don't care about your skin color. They don't care about your gender. They don't care about your religion. They don't care. when you're on this level of evil that you're willing to kill people in some of the ways that these cops you'll see in my future videos I've killed, you know you're dealing with demons, and different level of evil. So because of that, you can't use regular logic to combat it. You have to combat it on a spiritual level, but also use smarts as well. And I feel the best way to do that is making it difficult for them to survive within the system. Like, you know, um, accountability, which I hear Trump is working on some kind of reform for cops to be held accountable or more accountable for bad actions, right? Like, it shouldn't be this hard to fire a cop when they do something really bad, like years of kissing and all this stuff, and they do something bad and they get, paid time off and stuff like that. First off, the minute you get, fired for something like that, or you get reprimanded for doing, something terrible, you should not be having a paid time off. I don't care. Like you start getting paid when you're proven innocent or whatever. So that's number one. No paid time off, right? Number two, it shouldn't be so hard to like charge them. And the charge and for using excessive force, um or something like that. Yeah, it shouldn't be as hard, I think, because what people have to remember is like I said, once you defund the police, it's gonna affect the ability of good cops to do the job properly, because it affects the equipment, what they can do. You're essentially cutting funding, and those are the guys that's gonna pay for it the most. When you're that evil, you're gonna find a way to kill. Either way, you're gonna fight, and that's why you see these guys even without gun. Look how they killed George Floyd. They just knee on his neck. You know, it don't always have to come down to guns. So that's why I'm like, when you're that evil, you'll find a way to kill somebody, regardless of the race, gender, whatever. You'll still find a way to kill him with a pencil, anyway. So because of that, you have to, you know, go about it differently, right? So that's why I think fixing the system within, they should have protection. Yes, I agree, they should have, the police union. I don't know if they should have the police union, but they should have some level of, or at least fix it. They should have protection, because cop need protection. Good cops need protection. So yeah, they have to do that. Also, they have to get rid of qualified immunity. That's like this. I don't know. One of the stupidest thing. I don't. I know there was a good intention for it, but at this point, it's helping bad cops continue to do bad. So because they know they won't be held accountable. If any of you guys don't know what the qualified immunity does for cops or law enforcement individuals, go look it up, right? They can do whatever they want without even worrying if they're gonna get in trouble for it, unless it's really heinous. And that's why you see the rate of cops getting charged for shooting somebody is usually in the high 90s that they get off. You know what I'm saying? It's because of that. Because the system helps them, and doesn't really keep them accountable. So yeah, you have to get rid of the qualified immunity. I feel you have to get rid of that, and they have to fix police union. You have to fix that, and you know just make it hard. Just make it harder for them to survive within the system. And that's how I feel they'll gain back the confidence of the people. That's how you'll gain back the trust, right? You show them, okay, we're willing to do what it takes to win you guys trust. And if making these changes, that shows you that, okay, we're trying to keep bad cops out. By first off, when somebody within the system does something wrong, you immediately hold them accountable. Each person should be held accountable for the action. If you use aggressive force and excessive force, immediately you're held accountable. By you get fired immediately, you get charged. The processing, it needs to be faster and decisive, and they shouldn't be able to get jobs in another precinct, which is, which happens. They can get fired and they're still able to go work as a cop somewhere else, right? So, yeah, I think, that will be one of the best ways of at least cutting off one of the options of the um leftist media of using that tactics of tainting policing and trying to destroy law and order in the country, is to, like, get rid of one of the things that they keep trying to use to drum up support on their side, which is, put out videos before the facts are out that helps them convince people that all cops are after you and trying to kill you, and they're going to keep trying to use it. So once we fix the policing system and it gets better statistic wise, yeah, they'll go on to something else. They'll probably go back to trying to paint Trump as the devil and, attacking, anyone that wears Trump 2020. They'll go back to being petty, right? So let them focus on the petty stuff and lies and all that stuff that they want to try to use to scare people. We'll focus on making America great, right? We'll continue to do that on the right. We'll continue to live free and practice our First and Second Amendment, as we please, and support free thinking. That's what they do over here. They support free thinking. We don't always agree on everything, you know, but we welcome discussion, and that's one of the biggest thing I notice on the left side. They don't like free thinking, man. They'll get mad at you just for thinking differently and not agreeing with what they're saying. That's not the American way. So yeah, but there's a change coming, a big change coming, man. Like, people are living in waves. So let them continue. They won't get far with that. And yeah, hope you guys have a good one and enjoy the discussion. If you guys have any idea, I'd love to hear from you guys out there what you think will be the best way of fixing um policing in America, and I think, some of the ideas that I throw out is pretty much like, um, as best as I can think of. Like I said, number one, get rid of qualified immunity. Number two, fix the police union. Number three, we need to see faster processing for cops that commit that violate the oath that they're supposed to be protecting and the Constitution. And the punishment for me should be more severe than if it was a citizen that committed the crime, because it's your job as a law enforcement officer to protect the law, you know, and uphold the Constitution. So those are my four or three suggestion. I don't know how they'll make the police union better, but we can think of ways to make it better together. Like, just make the system harder for evil to thrive in there, and make it a deterrent. Let it be discouraging, at least, for people to want to, cops to think. Make it at least difficult, and make them at least have to think twice now when they're about to do something wrong, where they're like, is it worth it? I don't know. I'm not gonna have the same level of protection, and get off as easy as I would before in the past. Make them think. If you're doing some change, at least make them think first. People will at least appreciate the attempt, right? So, let's get into it. So you guys let me know in the comments below what ideas you have or think will make it better. If you disagree with any of my suggestion, let me know. I'm okay. I like discussion. And yeah, I'm not one track minded. I'm a free thinker and I'm open minded. So I welcome any ideas. All right. You guys take care and have a good one. I'll see you in the next video.